I'll be around. And then, are you going to just ask me questions, or am I going to make up?
Oh, I'm going to talk a little bit about the different classes and stuff.
Sure.
I'm going to talk a little bit about the classes.
Yeah, how they qualify. So it's the top two.
If they beat the good time.
It's the top two per class. Two fastest per the whole entire class, not division, not open master novice. Correct. Fastest time in the whole lot. Yes, sir. Yes. Correct.
Yeah. The fives have a hotter course. I would think they should have a hotter course.
Not this year. They all have like the same course. Those were bracketing system for changed it all up. The way it's set up now, twos are better athletes than fives. Most fives are walking because they're on prosthetic legs. There's an athlete right now that's walking all over and hasn't sat in a chair. Exactly. Right. Exactly. Where twos are always in chairs, so they're more used to a wheelchair than some of those fives. You know what I mean?
Is Hannigan a two? Oh boy. I'm going to get the ball. Set up, they can even say, right now they're doing the walkthrough and explain what it is, so that people get the application.
Welcome back to day 4 of the 38th Annual National Veterans Wheelchair Games, co-presented by the Department of Veterans Affairs and the Paralyzed Veterans of America. I'm Michael Carasino here with Air Force vet, 20-year Games vet, Michael Gilbo. And Michael, wow, we're happy we could bring this to you. The Slalom, which I forgot last night, but remember today, the Slalom presented by UPS, as they are the sponsors of this very awesome, fun, and tough event for the games. And don't forget, this week's live streams are brought to you by USAA, the official media and technology sponsor of the 38th National Veterans Wheelchair Games. Like I said, Mike Gilbow joining me, Air Force vet. Man, that's got a little bit of experience with this course. Right now, the participants are walking through it, and explain why they're walking through, because You can't take shortcuts, Mike. I know you try to, being a Red Sox fan. I'm just kidding. He's a diehard Red Sox fan. But they're walking through the course because you have to follow the arrows. Yeah. And there's some pretty tough, obviously pretty tough obstacles in this course.
There's certain places in the course you have to go forward, backwards. It's all marked on the floor, and the cone colors let it know. But they are telling you exactly what you have to do to get a clean run, because if you're supposed to salute a flag somewhere and you forget to salute a flag, you do everything right, you're DQ'd because you have to have a clean run. So they got to pay really good attention as they walk through and tell them everything they need to do. And certain obstacles you can do more than one way. So, like, whatever works for you, you can do.
Now, and these obstacles, because we touched on it last year, and we'll get to the Super G in a little bit, these obstacles under the slalom, they're everyday obstacles that you might see when you're in a wheelchair. So what are some of the obstacles we have out here? I see it kind of looks like sand and gravel. You're not always might be on a sidewalk or a street or a flat surface. So talk about the obstacles that the competitors have.
Yeah, no, the slalom just came about from physical therapists when they were training new injuries in the chair to, let them used to what it's going to be like in the real world out there. And it's not always, like you said, flat, smooth floors. And so, I mean, they start you out, the start rate here goes right into sand, then pea stone, then gravel, then you jump out into an air mattress. So, I mean, they're already trying to turn your arms to rubber, pushing through the hardest stuff. And you'll see differences in equipment and things. But, you got going through doors. They got doors on an incline, some little steps, jump on a curb, climbing up, some people can use the sign to get up, others don't need it. This is a 2 course they're doing the walkthrough right in front of us. They're also running the Class 5s at the same time. They have a different course down the other end.
Now let's get to the classes too, because I was going to get to that. So you have Class 1 through 5, right? 5 meaning that they have the most function. Right?
Yes, a lot of the 5s are amputees and don't use the chair a lot.
Okay.
Where Class 2s are your lowest level of para.
Okay.
When they do the Super G, they only allow 2, 3, 4, and 5s in it.
Okay.
Class 1 is the quads. They don't even allow them to do it. It wouldn't be safe. But what the difference in the classes is, Class 2 is the lowest level of ability. They have the highest spinal cord injury, so they've lost more function. So these guys live in a chair. So they will be good in the chair because they never get out of it. Where many of those guys can ambulate.
Right.
But they still may play wheelchair sports. Some of them may be really good in it. Some may not be as good. But they also had the 3s and the 4s yesterday. And, that's class in between, a little bit more function than the 2s on the left, but in the chair all the time. And then the 4s, some of them can ambulate a little bit, but are in the chair a lot more than the 5s would be. And so Class 2, 3, 4, 5, the fastest 2 times of the class, no matter what division, male, female, the 2 fastest from each 2, 3, 4, and 5 qualify to go into the Super G, which we'll have Abby talking about a little bit.
Yeah.
That's like this is a 100-meter timed course. The Super G is the slalom course on steroids.
Yes.
It makes this look easy, and believe me, when the people see this today, they'll have a lot of respect for what these guys are doing.
Right.
So to get to the next level is phenomenal.
Well, it's like deja vu, because when we worked, we worked Super G last year, and you said it is slalom on steroids, and that is a perfect description of it. And you touched on something too, because you said at some points they have to go through backwards. And the one thing I've learned, especially from last year here and being around other people in wheelchairs, Mike, is that sometimes it's actually easier to go in backwards with the angle and stuff like that. So what are some of the obstacles they have to go through backwards?
Well, where the cones change from, you see there's a lot more purple ones, and the lines on the floor are marked in a straight line.
Okay.
So the purple is forward. When you see a set of yellow cones, that like when you come off of that little new obstacle over there and you come down, you come through at the end of the obstacle forward purple, but you have to, as soon as you get off that obstacle, turn around and go backwards, because see that it's a yellow arrow on the floor and it's got a cross through it that shows you that's reverse, not forward.
Okay.
And it's yellow cones. And you can't hit the cones because when you knock cones down, that takes a second off. They put cones over the doors. If you slam the door too hard, you lose time. You know, anytime they touch you, you lose time. You know, because there's UPS spotters. They're very safe about this, and because it is dangerous. And
Right,
if you,
no, absolutely.
If you haven't been out doing this in your chair regularly and you signed up for it and you're coming to try it for the first time, you know, you're going to need some help because you're going to do a couple diggers, but you're going to learn a lot, you know. And next year you'll be better. But, I mean, they got a great section over here. When you come down the doors and come through, you come down, you got to turn around, go backwards, then you go forward. Then you come over here, and they got a little S turns, and there's orange cones in between the forward and back reverse cones. You have to do a wheelie and not knock over any of those orange cones forward.
Yeah.
Then you got to go backwards doing a wheelie without knocking over any of the cones. Then you got to come back forwards and do a wheelie without knocking over any of the cones. So it'll show some really good chair control. And again, you knock over the cones, time is added. It's a 100-meter timed event, and anytime you mess up and make, you know, the reason they're taking so long in the walkthrough is they want to make sure everybody understands exactly what you need to do. Because
Right.
you can do the best run in the world, and if it ain't a clean run, you're DQ'd. Now, if you make a mistake, you only have to go back to the beginning of that obstacle and redo it.
Right.
But
so you
if
just can't finish if you know you went
But
the
if
wrong
you
right.
realize, if you go through the finish line, you're done.
Right.
But, I mean, if you get all the way to the finish line and realize you made a mistake and it was all the way back here at the beginning, you don't just do the one where you made the mistake. You got to realize you made the mistake right away and go fix it, because where you made the mistake, you have to go do every single obstacle again after that when you correct the mistake.
Right.
So, I mean, that could be a tough job. But
Man.
in the old days, the officials used to be able to tell you, read the course and stuff like that. If you made a mistake, they can't say anything now. It's all up to the athlete. So
Right.
you got to really pay attention to the
Right,
walkthrough.
because you were saying that
in
the
the
Super G-
stands will,
Right.
they watch it and they'll try and help. They want these guys to do good too, so they'll be yelling, read the course,
Right.
you know, because a lot of us athletes, you know, watch other people and teammates do it. So we're out there, and if we see them make a mistake, we want them to fix it, and they know the official can't say anything.
Right. But I remember last year, because you even said the same thing, that when you make a mistake, the officials stopped telling people, because, again, if you unfortunately make a mistake outside, maybe there's nobody there to tell you that. So that's important. But, yeah, as they, again, you'll see them going up ramps, and, again, sand. And the one thing that we mentioned, and we talked about the levels, classifications 2, 3, 4, and 5, but at the same time, still not having use of their core. So when Michael said the arm workout, it is a insane arm workout. Just get through the beginning, then by the time you get through the end, it is pretty much a battle of attrition, right?
Oh, yeah. And you'll see people that might look really strong at the beginning might start struggling more at the end. Sometimes some of the fastest people coming through here look like they're strolling through the park and don't even look like they're working. And they take the slow pace, but they absolutely go non-stop, stop to finish at the same nonchalant pace, you know. But
so it's
you'll
it's
see
tough
how
to
much
do.
work it is.
Obviously, it's tough to do. But what's I guess conserving energy, using energy. What are some of the strategies?
Well, there's also equipment issues, you know. You want to be one with your chair. Any movement you put in, you want the chair to go to. So, and you don't want your feet to be bouncing off the chair and getting in your way, so you pinch them or run them over and stuff. So, I mean, you'll see these guys some people have duct tape and stuff. They're all strapped in as tight as they can be to the chair. So, like, any little hip swivel in your hip moves your whole wheelchair and your axle base. Sort of like the boot and the ski.
Right, okay.
You know? And some people will get around with the skinny tires. They use them all the time. I myself do a lot of skiing and live in New England with the snow.
Yep.
So I have some fatty tires. So when I'm dealing with like the sand and the pea stones, those flat tires, because I do a lot of skiing and spend time fishing around, I have the fat tires to go out there because they may make a mess hauling stuff around the house, but when you're outside, they're a lot less work than the skinny ones. So different people might set their chairs up with different equipment, and, you know, you'll be able to tell who's new, because if he's not tied in, his legs are flopping all over the place, That's one of the first things you learn. Oh, next year I got to get something to,
Exactly.
to time it, to time myself in and do better. But, a lot of times we'll see people and help them out. It's like, I'm not in the run. I got a strap. You might want to put this on.
Right, exactly.
Because they're all brothers helping each other out.
Right.
I mean, you want to win, but you're cheering for everybody to get through.
Right.
And I mean, just to
But is
finish,
it-
finish this course, it's a winner. We're about ready to start in the Class 2s here.
Yes, we are.
Well, Class 5 already took off.
We did, and that is number 249. That's Johnny Alexander Jr.
Yeah.
And he's through the sand, as we see there.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that. Well,
Yeah.
and I asked you strategy, Mike, but I'm saying, I guess the faster you can get through, the better.
Oh, yeah. And you get that. Obviously, the front end is like tent posts in there, so you want to do a wheelie. And it looks like he's got the fat tires on.
Yeah.
That's why he went through the sand so easily.
Okay.
And also, that's the Class 5, so they have a lot more upper body strength and ability and core. We got ready to start on the Class 2s over here.
Yeah, and Alexander, though, he is.
Notice they rake that. Soon as they make ruts in it, there's a volunteer there to rake it up and clean it up to make it nice and smooth and hard for the next guy.
Look at Alexander. Oh, now he's showing off, and now starting on this side, that's Daniel Gupenberger.
Yeah. Now there's a good run up the ramp. First you gotta get up the ramp, pop a little lip at the top. See, and he's having trouble just getting up the ramp.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. It's like if they got to put their hands on you, there's another 5-second penalty. It's like take your time, take a deep breath, get back, take a run at it. Lean back, because there's a little lip at the top. There you go, lean back, get over that thing. Push with the right. Lean back, pop a little wheelie. There you go. You get that the front tires are like tent posts, especially in that sand. So you got to keep them up. That's why people see us doing wheelies, they think we're showing off. That's part of functioning and properly navigating the chair. See how he has to keep the front wheels out of that stuff? And he's getting a workout because he's got the skinny tires.
Yeah, I was going to say, because now, but Jensen now, or Alexander, pardon me, on the other side, he's to the door, and again, coming up to a door on a ramp, you have to go back.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, cones are shaking because he bumped into it.
Yeah.
Now, you said slamming the door too hard, but if he bumps into it and it falls, is that a deduction?
The whole thing is to be smooth, and they really increased the difficulty this year, because you're not.
Oh, and look at that. He gets through without. Oh, now he's got to close the door all the way, but look at how gently he closed the door.
But it didn't close. Well, somebody closed it for him, so maybe it undid, but. The tricky thing is they get that, and he's got the same thing here when he gets through the little ramps. He's running up a ramp and dropping off a curb. He's got a couple more little ramps, curbs.
Yeah, look at that. Gupenberger back on the
and then
he'll
be hitting the doors. Now they've added a new obstacle. This is a new Abbey obstacle right here.
Okay.
This one, the right wheel, the back wheel has to stay on that high curb spot the whole time. Down.
Okay.
So, your caster can be off.
Oh, I see
You're
what you're
steering
saying.
your other wheel, but the right wheel has to stay up on a curbing.
And Jensen trying to get through, or Alexander, pardon me, trying to get
Oh,
through.
what's he in some rumble strips over there? Or is that the ladder of death? Can't quite see what he's got.
Say he
angle.
He actually had fallen over a little bit. And they had helped him back up, but he's trying to get. It looks like he's trying to get up on a really, really big curb going forward.
Oh, that's all right. That's the one with the sign. That's like right in front of us. He's on this obstacle right here. They actually have a sign there, so you can pop the wheelie to do the curb, but depending on the levels.
Oh, and he leans forward and he gets it.
Yeah.
Wow. And that is tough. Look how high that curve is.
Oh, yeah. That's why they put the sign there. You can cheat and use the sign a little bit. But that's what they tell you. You can come in from the front, from the left, whatever works better. You can grab it with your right hand, your left hand. That's why the arrows show you all the different ways around it.
Okay.
It just shows you got to do a wheelie and come off this way forward and then carry on to the next.
Gotcha.
All right. Now he's going to go upstairs. This is tricky. You got to get a wheelie and get that front end up, and you got to keep that front end up and climb. And as your back wheels hit, it wants to bring the front wheels down, so it's a fight, You see the guys that are really good at it, and their chairs are set up good. It's all about, you dial your chair in for years as you deal with these obstacles. And center of gravity, you want to be able to carry speed, because when you jump a curb, you don't want to go from a dead stop going up a curb. It's just really hard. Now you got to keep the wheelie up. You don't want to catch the front end and go forward. All right, he got down there. Now this is a tough one. Doesn't look like much. There's bungee cords that will get all caught up in your casters and your feet. So you want to keep your feet as high as you can.
Right.
But in these frames with the 2x4s holding the bungee cords across, is some 2x4s underneath, cross members. So you're trying to get over those at the same time.
Real quick, Alexander finished the course. That's a pretty good. Didn't see his exact time, but I know, again, the sign was a little tough, but it looks like he got through the rest of the course. Bungees included, as I looked over, as we were checking out Gupenberger, Mike, but he got through the course pretty quick.
Yeah, and the thing is, what surprises me, your level 2s, the lowest disability level, the highest
so the least
injury of
functioning,
para, the least functioning, less core and stuff, and the 5s, the most functioning, there isn't that much difference in their courses. They got a lot of similar obstacles.
So now it looks like...
This is a real tough obstacle he's on now. It's like those things that you park in, they put in front of you to parking in the parking lot. You got half of one on the left, half of one on the right. And you got to keep rocking the chair and going over. And some 5 is getting ready to start over there. Is that Mr. Patton?
That is, let's see. I want to say it's 182. I think it's Bill Searless, number 182. Yep.
Yeah, 182.
So Bill Searless.
Yeah, and now he's got the skinny tires. He's not getting through the sand as fast as the last guy. See that little equipment difference?
Right.
One guy did it. But notice they got a really steep ramp going up into the sand.
Right.
So before you even get in the sand, you got to climb a hill.
Right.
And there's a lip at the top, so you got to pop a wheelie and go over the lip while you're going up the hill to land in sand.
Right.
Which, if you don't hold the wheelie up, your front end's going to dig in and you're going to throw on your face.
Yeah.
All right. We got some sponsors from UPS going to visit with us?
So, Gupenberger is at the door now on the...
yeah, he's on the hill on the door, and that's where it's tricky.
He got through the bungees pretty good, though. We're talking about and then I know you said it half on the left, half. He got through that pretty good, though.
Yeah, no, that's a tough obstacle.
And again, no use, for our viewers, no use of your core. And this is all upper body.
These level 2s, you'll see a lot of them. They might have a Velcro strap going around their chair to their belly. Like you see it in basketball and stuff. And people that are in the chair and very athletic do it a lot.
Right.
They'll have the equipment. You might see some here with that strap wrapped in. Because they can lean forward, but then it'll help pull them back. Because otherwise they have to use their arms to push themselves back.
Oh,
and their arms are busy on the wheels trying to do stuff right now.
Okay. Right. So now Daniel
so
Gupenberger trying to get through the door. But
he got through the incline. He stopped sideways so he won't go down. Now he's getting it over. And luckily, see, on this one, it's flat. So he can get through the door. He's still going to have to turn around to get it. They really increase the degree of difficulty in the doors from just going through a flat.
Yeah.
Even then, they had a couple doors back to back, but it was
because
all
last
flat
year it was
stuff.
flat, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
I thought I remember that. Yeah.
But another thing is the cones on top of the doors. You got to be careful. If you grab it and go down the hill and pull it real fast and knock all the cones off, you're losing time. So he's fighting to try and get back to it. He's got a little stretch, but he's got to stay on the ramp and not fall off, too, because he's on an incline.
Nice. And he gets it close. No cones drop. And look at Bill Searless over there. He's coming through pretty good. It took him a little bit to get through the sand, but not too bad.
Yeah, well, and of course the sand they put right out of the gate. Climb the hill, hit the sand. So let's burn your arms out and see how much you really get before you start putting in more obstacles. Here's the tricky little wheelie spot right here. He's got to do a forward wheelie and clear those 3 cones without knocking them down.
Look at that. Look at that bounce right there.
Get over those. Now you can put the front end down.
Nice.
But now he's got to turn around. Now he's got to turn around and go backwards and pop a wheelie and get through these cones without knocking them down on a backwards wheelie.
Oh, okay. Look at Gupenberger there going through backwards.
And talking about wheelies on the 5 course, you got a wheelie he's going through the bungees. So he's sitting there working his buns off on a wheelie too. These guys spend a lot of time on 2 and not 4 wheels when they're running this course.
Exactly.
Oh, he got through. He didn't knock one of them down.
Very nice. Now the tougher. I said that. Got it.
Yep. Now
but this one you have to take forward. You can't go up backwards, right?
No.
You can use the sign for help.
Yep. You can grab the sign and help yourself. See, the one thing you got to be careful when you pull up, if you're going to use the sign, you got to make sure you're far enough to sign. When you pull yourself up, you don't pull the wheel. And I saw a couple people yesterday pull themselves right into the sign.
Oh, I got you.
If you get lined up too close to the sign, when you pull up, your wheel hits the sign, so you got to be wide. Right. He got it. Took him a little while. See, now he's got to go forward off this one end. Don't matter which side you come on from, but he's getting a wheelie to drop that curb so he don't do a digger. And he controlled it down there nice, yep. And the other guy was in the wheelie cranking along through the bungees, and he got through pretty good.
What's after the bungees? What's that called? Where it's like speed bumps. They look like speed bumps.
Yeah. They're actually they're little ramps, but you can't just go flying off them because your front end will dig in. You got to make sure you wheelie off the end. It's like jumping a curb. But you know,
wow, and he got up the ramp. Michael, sorry, real quick through the door, very quick.
Yeah. Now, how fast can you get it?
Yeah, I was gonna say the first half was.
My class had the same setup yesterday, and I'll tell you what, if you get good enough finger control, the best thing you can do is reach back in a crack between the door and just swing it and get it swinging. Pull your hands in and reach with your other hand and get it. So see how everybody's stopping?
Right, yeah.
You can actually get the door to kind of follow you through. You know, as you're going through, put your hand back there and have it pull.
And gentle
so
enough to where it's not knocking the cones down.
It's not going to knock the cones. You can't get to it, but at least they're all stopping and having to reach way back for it. It makes your reach a little shorter. And then now they get this teeter-totter. You got to climb a hill, then it gets flat, and then it sits flat on the top of a pair of stairs, and you're wheeling down the stairs.
Yeah, it's Gupenberger again. A little bit of time. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, he got up there. You just got to get controlled. He was pretty controlled coming off the curb, so it looks like he's used to going downhill. Yeah,
nice.
He got a cone, but.
And now
he's done. He's through.
Cyrillus on the other side. Has
now
to
he's
pop
doing the
wheelies
wheelies over the cones. See, he knocked a couple of his arms. They caught under his casters. So.
And getting through the course.
Yep, now he's over on the block climb using jumping the curb up. You can see the sign shaking, so he's over there grabbing the sign, trying to pull himself up there. Let me sneak out a little bit, see what I can see.
Exactly. Well, he gets through it.
Yeah, now he's moving along to the next. What do we got here?
And Cyrillus is...
Oh, that's the ladders of death.
Now, why is it called the ladders of death?
Well, it's like a laid-down ladder, and the rungs actually spin. And they have one missing. So ideally, you want to get a good run at it. Pop a wheelie just before you hit that first rung. So when your back wheels hit that rung and you start to come down, you're getting your second push and you're bouncing up.
Yeah, and he did just that. As you described it, right as he was doing it perfectly. He never came forward too much, and his back wheels literally bounced through.
If you time it right, the back wheels will bounce up, and your second push will put you on top of the rungs. If you get stuck in that hole with the rung missing, your casters come down, now they're caught. Those are the bars of death. Because now you're trying to do a wheelie, get your casters out of the bars, but you're sitting at a dead stop trying to go over that.
And look at that. He's coming up the ramp, headed towards the finish line.
Yep. He's just got a wheelie down the stairs, and he's through the finish.
Goes down and through the finish line. Great job there by Cyrillus. Him and Alexander. Alexander may have been a teeny bit quicker, but that's not bad by Cyrillus.
Yeah. Well, that's funny, they was just a little bit off on the takeoff, but it's amazing how similar the courses are. You know, I'm trying to see if I can find anything that's really way more difficult in the 5 course than the 2 course, since they have so much more ability. And it seems that they pretty much have all the same. I don't see a lot of difference.
It doesn't seem. So that ramp by the UPS truck, now how do they have to take that?
Oh, now that ramp of UPS truck, they're going to take it forward on the left side. You see that white line going up vertical. You're going to follow it. They're going to come off the bars of debt. So you're already tired coming out of that ladder.
Right.
Hopefully, if you did a clean run like he did over there, you get energy. You got to get up past. There's 2 sets of diamond plate lips that you want to don't catch your casters on and go forward. You want to be leaning back, and you want to get up that hill, and then you got to go across on the hill. And you're on a pretty steep grade, so you got to kind of lean up into the hill. But both of your casters at the same time have to clear that vertical line that's going up the ramp.
That's right.
It can't be one at a time.
I was in the
They have
Super
to both
G2 last year because there's a lot of guys that, and again, not easy, but had to come back down because you have to get up high at that angle like you were talking about. So you have to go up high, come down at the white line.
Yeah, and when both of your casters are across the vertical white line, your big wheels have to be above the diamond plate.
Gotcha.
So you have to, everything has to stay above, and once you're good and both casters are over, the official's right there saying you're good, and then you just take off, go down, and head to the next obstacle, which here is the teeter-totter into the stairs. All right,
So
we
got
just started.
297. This is Carolyn Andrews. That's up, and she's got the skinny. Are those skinny tires?
Yeah, she's on the skinny
tires.
tires. She got over the lip. She got through the sand fairly quick. That peach stone is tough because it spins under your wheels.
Oh,
The
okay. That's what I was
sand's
going
got
to
a lot
ask.
of grip. There's 3 different kinds of stuff in that box.
Right.
You hit sand with the
So
soft
the sand
and
you
hard,
get
but
grip.
it's got friction.
Right.
So you move.
The
but
stones
then you
don't.
get to the little pea stone, the real small, and it tends to spin. And then you get the riprap, a little bit larger rock. It's still soft and it eats you, but you can get through it.
Okay.
But that second one, if you're pushing hard coming out of sand, you tend to get into spins. But look, they're both in the box, and they're both running with the skinny tires.
No, but so you're saying the rocks at the end, the rocks at the end.
The
there's a
rip
little-
wrapper, I call them, the gray ones. They're the bigger rocks, and they don't
So
spin. They don't give.
Right, okay.
You know.
So you're more so that's a bouncing because you're more so bouncing through those. Is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
Like,
You're still sinking a little bit,
Right.
but you're bouncing around. Not quite as much as those rumble strips that they put the 1x4s all over.
Okay.
I don't see a lot of those this year, huh? Had them in my course.
How'd you do yesterday, by the way?
Oh, well,
How'd you do yesterday?
I got through it, and I didn't hurt myself, so I'm happy. It's not one of my greatest times of all, but I just spent a few weeks in the hospital recovering, so. With a rotator cuff, I did field events. I did shot put, discus, and javelin in the morning and slalom at night. And I'm like, if my shoulder survives this, I should be able to do my swims on Friday. So, I'm just happy I survived.
Hey, that's the competition right there. The fact you went through it. Most people with rotator cuff.
I finished
in your
it.
situation wouldn't want to go through it. Then the rotator cuff. I mean, come on. Well, and look at as Carolyn Andrews getting through the course, and now over here.
Yeah. They're very close together. She just jumped the wheelie and she's going onto that. It's like a curb on one side. The right wheel has to ride on a curb.
Right.
While the left one's down. So now he's getting on it. They're very close together.
Yeah, I want to say it's Wendell Little. And so yeah. All right, Mike. We're gonna bring you back, but you got to step aside for a minute. I got some of your friends from UPS.
Oh,
you
we
know what? Hey,
love
but
UPS. They make it all happen for
I'll
us.
lobby to make the course easier for you. Come on.
There you go.
You're a
Thank
Boston
you.
guy.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
Yeah, don't go too far. You're coming back. All right, as Mr. Gilbo jumps off, Air Force vet, 20th games, great friend, obviously, of the stream. And so, yeah, Wendell Little coming through on the 2 course, and on the 5 course, man, she's working it, is Carolyn Andrews. She got up and over the steps and now going through the bungees. Like I said, can't go down too, don't want to go down too far. As like I said, Michael Gilbo stepped aside for a minute. We have Chris Peck, the Vice President of Corporate Human Resources for UPS, who sponsors this phenomenal event. And, well, I say phenomenal for me because I get to watch. I don't have to try to go through it in a chair. But, I mean, being a part of the games, and this is everyday stuff that people say, oh, come on, sand, and, you know, is somebody in a wheelchair really going to be around ground? Obviously, steps and curves are there, but, I mean, thinking about, like, sponsoring this course, I mean, how it's fun, it's challenging, and, but, I mean, these athletes, they kind of takes them a minute, they go through it, but what they have to deal with every day, it's unbelievable that they're able to do it.
Oh, yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons why this is such a combination popular event for the athletes, for the spectators, for the volunteers, is, you know, the courses really are designed to simulate everyday challenges that you know, these athletes and, you know, folks have to face on a daily basis. So as challenging as these look, it really is designed particularly to build some confidence, to have the athleticism that's tied to that as well. And you'll see the different levels of difficulty that are here from the left to the right as well. But there's no question that, you know, when you see the folks cheering on as you do right now, trying to go through these courses, it's truly inspiring.
Yeah, because Michael talking about, I mean, he knows, he ran the course. I was telling him I'd lobby you guys to make it a little easier when he goes out next time. But no, but he's saying, I mean, especially like in the bungees, if you're, you know, your casters get down and you get stuck in there. I mean, this is everyday challenges they have that they can have, and again, but just to see how they get through it. I mean, coming up to big curves, and yeah, sometimes might not always be around, and so I mean, that's I guess the tough parts of this course, but the beauty of it too is because, like you just said, I mean, it's everyday challenges that they could see. Although I was saying to Mike, I get everyday challenges, but you know, I know you don't want to like rip the door off the hinges, but the cones, I would go, if they close a little too hard, I go, come on, that's an unfair deduction.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, for UPS to be a part of this, I mean, you guys have been a part, obviously, a very long time. I mean, how did it come about? And I mean, to keep the relationship going and to help the vets, and touch on that. And then, I mean, you guys obviously employ a lot of vets. What kind of programs do you have as well? Sure.
I mean, well, you know, in terms of PVA, our relationship with them really goes back to 1986. So this is actually the 33rd wheelchair games that we've been supporting through volunteerism like this to you know, not only handle the course that you see in front of you today, all of the movement and transportation of all of the course materials for every sporting event, including, you know, the specialty wheelchairs that the athletes will travel with as well, too. So everything to take care of the logistics, if you will, here associated with this. And it goes back to a retired UPSer that you'll see around here that started this relationship back in 1986 named Ciro DeGasperis.
Oh, softball, yeah.
Softball Cirrus, that's it, right, with the whole family. And,
yes.
you know, Ciro really developed a relationship with PVA member Mike Delaney back at that time, and really discussed what the opportunity might look and could look like. And Ciro not was only so passionate to get UPS involved back then. Ciro retired 25 years ago. And every year, Ciro brings his family, now 4 generations, to come here every year to support the games, both with 22 family members here this year, but also financially supported as a significant sponsor. So honestly, he got us started. We wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for Ciro and some of the great history and legacy that he has. But again, I think that the games sell themselves.
Oh, absolutely.
They do. You can't help but come to one of these games. And my wife and my family have been coming here since 2011, so this is the 8th games on our side. But you can't help but look at this and say, this is awesome. The folks that come here just come away more excited, and it keeps growing and growing.
And both competitors getting through the door, and got to get it closed. But man, it's one of those things where when you see it, Carolyn Andrews, and again going through backwards, because sometimes, and I was saying this to Michael, being around, obviously seeing these vets here, but a lot of times it's easier to go through something and attack it backwards just because of how you have to lean. And man, again, just I mean, the strength it takes, especially with not having any core use really, is unbelievable. Yeah.
There's no question. And I'm delighted, by the way, to see, I think we have 5 or even 6 or more female competitors over here that you'll see today as well, too, which is the most that I recall seeing in the past several years. Although I do remember a female athlete winning it several years in a row at the Super G, which will take place on Saturday.
Oh yeah, we'll be there.
Yeah, that's going to be great.
We did the Super G last year, and yeah, if you think this course is, it is tough. The Super G, and I mean, last year there was a few people that, I mean, literally just shredded it, just ripped through it, and I was in absolute awe because I'm like, how can they get through it that fast?
Yeah, it is truly amazing to see, especially when you consider the person in charge of designing the courses is affectionately referred to as a sadist.
Yes.
When she's setting these up to be really that challenging, sometimes she goes a little overboard, but it's all good.
Well, as Carolyn got through over there, gets a big cheer, now has to get through the ladder, got to get that lean back, and as Wendell Little comes here now with the, again, got to go up forward. You can use the sign for help, but again, you don't want to go into the sign. Oh, look at Little.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, well, it's got to straighten it out. There he goes.
That's
wow,
great. That's
that
one of
was,
the fastest times up there.
Yes. Look at that. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Look at the control by Little. And then, obviously, programs like this, but employing veterans. I know that you guys, from what I recall from last year, you guys have programs. What are some of those programs of veterans coming back that work for UPS? Because I'm sure you got quite a few working for you.
Yeah, we certainly do. And we've had a long history of employing and working with veterans that actually goes back to the founding of our company. Our co-founder in 1907 was a Navy logistician.
Oh, okay.
Interestingly, same industry that we're talking about today. And so we've had a long history with veterans, through World War II, sending care packages over to veterans overseas as well. But frankly, involved on the employment side as well, too, is one of our 4 focus areas for our veteran strategy, is employment. Second is engagement, recognition, and reputation. So all of those sort of work together in tandem, almost like a throttle, if you will, on an airplane. You have to have all 4 sort of in a coordinated effort. But on the employment side, we made a commitment back in 2013 to hire at least 25,000 veterans over a 5-year period and volunteer at least 25,000 employee hours to great veteran service organizations like PVL.
Nice.
And some others as well, too. Well, a year later, we decided to double that and made it a commitment to 50,000 and 50,000 hours by 2018, which is this year. We actually exceeded that amount 2 years ago.
Very nice. And look at Little as he gets through.
Outstanding.
You can see, again,
Look at that smile.
I was going to say, a smile. He worked up a big sweat, too.
He did indeed.
Man, what a great job there. And last year I learned, that's the thing, I mean, not having use of the course, I know I hit it a lot, but it's just to see the balance and the strength is something that you have to adapt to. I mean, adaptive sports, but adapt to in their everyday life. Every time every time after last year I came up to a curb, I would sometimes look and be like, if they were bigger ones, and I'm like, yep, not taking this for granted, because it's what they can do. And like you said, I mean, they're vets. They don't, all the athletes that I've talked to around here, different sports, something for them to do. They can, adapt to sports. They can play sports. They just need a chair, like a lot have said to me. And, it's not like, oh, give me this, give me that. Go out there and earn it. When you see a course like this, I mean, I like to have a sadist for putting the challenges together as she does. But no, it is funny because, of course, the athletes are going to be like, oh, come on.
Well, you do have to right balance, and this is a good example. You have to have a right balance of challenge, where it's got to be sufficiently challenging to be competitive, but not so challenging it's demoralizing, right? Or you just can't, get through it as well, too. And the athletes give feedback to her, through all the events. You'll get some of that feedback.
That's Carolyn Andrews, and she, again, I saw her kind of, and again, that ramp is tough because you have to go up at that angle, keep your casters and back wheels above. Once you hit the white line, then you can come down the other ramp, but she balanced the teeter-totter there. And now headed down the steps, and she gets across the finish line. Great job there by Carolyn Andrews.
We just had Little cross the line over here, and we're a little far away to see her. But when you see the expression on their faces, if you saw Little or if you saw John, who was the first one to go there, that's what this is really about. You see that satisfaction, that joy,
accomplishment
from accomplishment, setting a goal and a task and being able to accomplish it is just Truly amazing.
Well, now up on the 2 course, we have Bill Hannigan. Wow, he got through the sand pretty quick there, and he's got the thinner tires. Michael telling me a lot of guys with the thicker tires, at least the sand part, is a little more easier because people that live in the East Coast might have snow like he does. Saying that the fatter tires, a little bit better, a little more grip to get through the sand, but he's thinner. And this is an interesting one because you got to keep your right wheels up on the curb the whole time. And Chris Peck, the VP of Corporate Human Resources for UPS, sponsoring the slalom and the Super G as well. But man, to see these competitors get through. And again, stop on a dime, go backwards, and the wheelies with the orange cones. Last year and this year, that's the one that gets me. I mean, the up and down in their balance, but I'm like, oh, to hold a wheelie and, like Michael so eloquently says, not take a digger to get through.
Yeah. And actually, you can do it for longer distances than that as well. So yeah.
Looks like that's Anthony Evans. Trying to see his 564. If you see his number, Chris, because again, I know people say, last year I had some friends watching, like, why are the volunteers in the way? I'm like, they're spotters, guys.
Yeah,
it's a tough course.
It is.
They're like, it
right,
is 564. So, that is Anthony Evans who's headed through. And as Hannigan, getting his casters. Again, like Michael's saying, it's tough to get your casters stuck in the bungees and to keep that balance, keep it back. There he goes.
That can be the challenge. That's why you got to almost do a wheelie like he is there. Yeah.
And then he goes to the big speed bumps, as I call them, but it's not straight through. Ooh, he got caught in another bungee. Trying to get out, and now Evans. Look at Evans. Wow, Evans got through that first part of the course pretty good.
Making great progress. You know, it's so exciting this year. Again, record number of athletes this year. I think the final number I heard was 611.
Wow.
Which is truly incredible. Again, it just does keep growing in stature. And I think, honestly, the experience that the athletes have throughout the course of the week, the teamwork, the esprit de corps that they reconnect in ways and on a national stage like this that don't come up throughout the daily course of life.
Right.
Even though, of course, PVA has several chapters around the country. So smaller events like this to get together, and those are great events that folks should take a look at supporting and attending as well. But certainly coming to this stage and this sort of an environment, I think is what does keep the veterans coming back and wanting to still come back and renew some friendships as well.
Well, I'm saying the orange cones are tough, and look at Hannigan right there, Chris. He goes through forward like it's nothing. Oh, and backwards, just knocks one over, but still now going back through and clears it. Look at the quick turn. Again, you can use the sign for help, and on a curve that high with these chairs, and again, Hannigan almost up.
Oh, so close there. Yeah. Using the handle on the sign. Excellent. Just made a course correction there. That was critical because otherwise that would have been a penalty.
Oh, that's right. You got to follow the arrow.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. And he gets it.
Getting help from the sign. Just again, tough not to turn into it too. But look at that.
Yeah, there you go.
Showing the balance there. Anthony Evans, getting through the bungees himself over on the other course. Oh, look at that.
Doing a great job.
Oh, wow, through the ladder. Well, he made quick work of that, did Hannigan, and now, look at that. Getting the good height. Crosses over. Wow. Man.
That's a
no
tough
wonder
one
why the course is on
two wheels across the white line there.
He made that look too easy. Gets up the balance there. Now going down and across the finish line. And Hannigan, what a great job there.
Awesome work. Yeah. Great job.
As he rips through. Man. And now Evans on the other course. Anthony Evans is, again, that's a tough one too because you have they're like speed bumps, it's not straight through, so you have to go over with your right down, your left tire down, right tire up, right tire down, left tire up, and again, just to keep that balance and the strength, again, the upper body strength that you have to have, that they form, is beyond unbelievable, Chris. Beyond unbelievable.
Well, you know, it's also so encouraging, inspiring about this event too is even though the competition is stiff, and these athletes, no doubt, they want to do well, they want to come away with medals, but at the same time, they're going to give coaching and support to the other athletes, and on those tips and ways to approach. I mean, I heard John right over here. John was first on the 5 course, and John is a machine.
Yep. He ripped through. Oh man, yes.
He ripped through it. But right after he finished, I heard him giving some feedback to some athletes that hadn't yet competed. Again, just trying to give him some coaching points on, some lessons and things that he learned from going through the course. So.
And again, and talking to a lot of the guys yesterday, I mean, I talked to Jimmy Green during softball, and I mean, he plays basketball and softball, and I mean, this is his 20th games. But he goes, yeah, of course, your first games you want to win. He goes, but you get out here, and he goes, it's like a family reunion of 600 people, like you're saying, the connections that they make, and they keep in touch throughout the year, and living obviously all over the country. But he said, you want to win, but he goes, the novices getting involved, their first year doing stuff, and they have so much. They have, to give advice, like you said, to help them. It's like, even if they're on another team, give them advice. Hey, try it this way. But just to get out here the first time, because like you're right, over 611 athletes, I mean, over 600, but it's one of those things where the first time is always the toughest because like, it's like I'm in this, I don't want to mess anything up. I want to compete. Just get out here, get in the events, and then, I mean, once you get out here, there's no way you cannot come back.
No, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. And he's making great time there on the 5 course as well. Oh, lost a wheel. Gonna come back for another attempt.
So now, when you guys set this up, do you and the volunteers get in a chair and try and go through it first?
Oh no, no goodness, no. You have again the obstacle course coordinator. She just walked by, and shame on me for forgetting her name, but she's been here for as long as I've been coming, she's been the one that sets the course. It's designed in her mind. She maps out, knows what's worked well, what hasn't, tries to make it a bit tougher as each stage progresses, certainly too. But they will have somebody, in fairness, just to make sure that they're mapping it. The distances that you'll see between the cones are all measured out to make sure that they understand what those distances need to be. And they will do a dry run. You will have a PBM member that'll do just to go through the course to make sure it is logistically going to be acceptable for the athletes.
Gotcha. Well, Chris, I thank you for joining us. We're going to let you get back to it. Jim's going to join us now, so you guys are here in force. But I just want to know, like the Oscar Mayer has a competition, and but can I drive the flame truck around for a few weeks?
Yeah, that's a special job that only certain individuals that are properly certified can operate the flame truck. Yeah.
Can I go through like a
popular one.
Not really a celebrity, but like a celebrity kind of certification and get to
kind of a
drive around?
We do have some elected officials that have joined us with a driver out there in what we call the jump seat there.
Nice.
Sort of the passenger seat, almost, if you will, on that side too. So we could probably arrange something like that.
Because I mean, the flames are out. That's awesome.
That's a cool
truck. I love it.
That's an awesome one.
And earlier you said, getting all the stuff here, and I was going to kid you. I was like, well, you know a company that can ship it here.
Oh yeah, we're the ones that manage that.
Absolutely. No, that's, and again, like you said, getting all this stuff in for the athletes too. I mean, the challenges that they have getting here. I mean, I know, yes, quite a bit fly, but a lot of them drive, and and come distances because it might be a little bit easier to drive.
There's no question. I mean, there's of course the financial cost of flying versus driving as well too. But you're right, just the logistics issues too. I mean, you do have folks, of course, here from England,
Puerto Rico
as well too, that come in, and depending upon what year it is, we've had Korean folks, South Koreans, actually that have come here as well too to support it. So, but there's no question. I mean, this being at a reasonably good area to drive to, I think has been a part of the success here anytime there's a games in Florida.
Awesome. Well, Chris, hey, thank you very much. Obviously, I'll see you for the Super G as well, right?
You will.
I'll be over there. Yes. So
you know it.
Great job with this. Go encourage these athletes.
Thanks so much. We will. Thank you.
Well, that was Chris Peck, the Vice President of Corporate Human Resources for UPS. And again, we have. What was that here on this course? That is 464 on Oh, that's right in front of my face. Raymond Hernandez on the 2 course. As now we'll bring in Jim Strong, the district scanning and automation manager here in Florida, right? For UPS.
Yes, I am.
Joining me, thank you so much. Michael Carrotino, I didn't get to meet you because you guys are running around, obviously encouraging these phenomenal athletes. And I was just talking to Chris, and I said, towards the end, I said, so once you get the course measured out and set up, I go, you guys try to get in a chair and see how far you guys. I know, again, it's everyday challenges, like we said, for them that they can have, for the athletes and competitors that they have in a chair. But, man, I mean, the use of no core, like I was saying to Chris, Jim, it's one of those things that you obviously already have an appreciation, but you have more of an appreciation and admiration that it's a discipline, but so much tougher for them to do. But just to get through these courses in everyday life with that.
Oh, yeah, this is everyday challenges that they face. I actually tried it in Cincinnati, and I'm a 100% able body, and I couldn't get through it.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to do a little bit of basketball last year. After the games, I was sitting and so I get going a little bit, but then you get going too much and you miss a shot. And I'm like, just again, how they're able to turn and play defense and move so quick, and again, it becomes second nature for them. But so you're obviously here in Florida. Obviously, the 38th games coming here to the home state. What's that been like for you?
Well, we started planning this about a little over a year ago. The PVA came, and Karen Shamlin from the VA came and said, hey, these games are coming to Orlando. And I have a little bit of relationship with the PVA because my friend Ken Weiss is in he's a quad. And so I've been to these games before, so it was a natural for me to come in and help. And so I've been able to coordinate this for UPS the last year. It took about a year of planning with all the folks that we work with to make this happen. It's not something that happens overnight. UPS is community minded, and we've been a part of this games with 35 years of the 38.
That's unbelievable.
It's stuff we do. Some of the stuff that some people think it's hard, but we do this. We move stuff every day. So it is difficult, and it's great to have the 900 volunteers that it took to do this. So
absolutely,
it's great that our people give back. We're in the community every day, and it's great to give back.
I was looking at, of course, looking at Glenn Gooden. He's over in the uneven speed bumps. I know that's not their real name, but I call them that because, again, you can't go straight over them. You have to have one wheel down and the other wheel's up going over, and the balance. And he fell down a little bit, but, I mean, it pops right back up and then goes to the door. Is now on this course, we have Michael Lexa going through on the 2s, and again, getting through that sand. And you said, I mean, just to sit there and try and watch, and I mean, talking to the athletes last year, my first year covering it was in Cincinnati, and then seeing the slalom and seeing the Super G. I mean, it's just, again, it's they're vets, and they have that no quit, no lose attitude. And like you said, you came to the games before, but once you compete in it, I think, because for novices, talking to a lot of the athletes, always like, oh, I don't want to, be the one hurting the team or whatever. But it's like, get out here. People will help you, and once you get in, there's no way you can't not come back.
Well, I served in the Air Force, and one of the things that you gain is camaraderie. No matter what, you're all together. And what you see here in the games, their competitors are competing against each other, but their competitors are giving them advice how to get through stuff. And going through sand and gravel at the very beginning, they start off with, that is tough. That is just push. If you've ever pushed anybody in a wheelchair and you get through gravel or sand, it's hard whatsoever. And they get that at the beginning, and if they do something wrong, these guys are telling them, hey, go back. You didn't finish that challenge. Go back and finish it. And these are the competitors. So it's a 100% camaraderie that the military teaches you. And, it's ingrained in your brain that you don't leave a brother behind. So, these guys all have it. They all know it and lived it. So,
well, an Air Force vet. I mean, Michael's always talking the Air Force up anyway. He's done this course. So, but I was saying to him this year at the games, I mean, I know the teams I covered last year, it wasn't seeming like there wasn't a lot of Air Force vets, but now there's more Air Force this year. I've come across more, so we thank you, Jim, for obviously being an Air Force vet. And but Yeah, UPS is involved. Like I said, being involved for 35 or 30 years. When you first came on at UPS, being a vet, I would think it was important to you, and you had to have obviously liked how they support it. But what have you helped do to advance that a little more?
Well, a part of in our district, and every district at UPS has a Veterans Business Review group, and we meet to see how we can help our local veterans. I'm here in Florida, and so what can we do to help Florida? So you'll see these guys in the gray T-shirts, not just the brown. Those are actual vets. So you got over there.
All right.
So they have served in the armed forces.
It was so fun. I was about to ask you. I was like, I see UPS in the gray and brown. Like, is there but there's the answer.
They are. They have served in the military. So in some facet or the other. So they're here to help, to support, and it was easy to get them. To come out because they're here to help their brothers. But UPS, we have a strong programs to bring on veterans as employees.
Yeah, Chris was talking about that doubling. Go ahead, touch more on it because that's awesome.
We actively seek. We try to help veterans that are transitioning out of the active duty into civilian life and a civilian job, because that was fantastic, by the way. But it's a great transition, and we're here to help. So we solicit our veterans, and my Navy guy walking by me right now, but solicit them to come into UPS, because we are structured, and it's hard work at UPS every day, no matter what you do. So you're used to that in the military. So it's just a great partnership between the military and United Parcel Service.
Well, Michael Lexa, who popped up the curb very fastly, goes through.
Wow. It's impressive.
Yes, it's. So I got to ask you, too, being an Air Force vet, because these guys, I know, love to razz each other. And I've heard, like I've said on a few broadcasts the last 2 years, and I knew some jokes, but I've heard some jokes from one person, one vet in one branch about another branch, and I can't repeat them on air. So is there a little friendly around the office trash talking about branches?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. When I was greeting folks coming in on Sunday, we take care of all the luggage. So we
Nice.
take it off the aircraft, bring it up. So we get a chance to meet the veterans as soon as they arrive. And the Army's very well represented here, just let me tell you that.
Oh, yes, they
so,
are.
So I had on my Air Force hat, and I got a lot of ribbing about my choice of military branch. But we all know we need each other.
Absolutely.
But it's just like anything else. So it's competition, So
my grandpa was an Army vet, 20 years, World War II in Korea, and he had, when I was young, I even learned how, the older generation, you don't think, your parents or grandparents can trash talk, but when he was around, his other Army buddies, if they were around some other armed forces buddies, there was a little bit of, a little jousting, I should say, back and forth. Yeah. But, and like you said, times of conflict, obviously everybody's there, supporting, but it is funny. Competitive juice is always flowing, no matter what.
My dad is a Marine.
Oh,
so
man.
I've heard him ever since I joined the Air Force. I've heard it my whole life. So he's always got something to say about it. Although he knows, and he's grateful for what I did, and I'm grateful for what he did for his service. Absolutely. But we still harass each other all the time, every chance we get.
Yeah, because I had Andy Burnt on. I don't know if you've had the chance to meet him. He's a Air Force vet, softball, weightlifting, big guy. And, very, very colorful. But I asked him, I go, so what are some of the things that, you say? Because I go, the Air Force, you guys seem to get picked on. He goes, Michael, I just turn to them and let them know that they're all just, I understand why they're bitter, because my ASVAB scores was way higher than they could ever dream of.
That's kind of what we always say. We always kind of tell them we were the smart guys of the whole place. So we have to lean on that.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I always tell them when it hit the fan, you needed us for air support. So, we were there to help you too.
Exactly. Exactly. No, and again, like I said, having grandpas in the Army, friends that have served in the Army and Navy as well, a few Marines. I like to hear them banter back and forth, and
great.
I'm like, but it's again, but you're right. It's all camaraderie and your brother, and that's one of the great parts about these games. Again, it is unfortunate that they had these accidents, but you meet, and I talked with a lot of the guys. You meet people, fellow armed forces members that maybe you never would have met. Maybe
Yeah.
by some chance you would have met a few. But you're right. I mean, and Jimmy Green yesterday said it's like a family reunion of 600 people when you come back to the games every year.
Yeah, that's true. It is a family reunion. You're really not strangers.
So throughout the year, talking to Jim Strong here, the Florida District Scanning and Automation Manager, which if people's packages don't show up, when I saw your title, I was like, no, I know they do. I'm just saying everybody, but no, that's here in Florida. But when you look at coming to the games and stuff like that, what are some of the things that you think are that best memories, best moments for you?
Well, we do the slalom every year, and we sponsor that. And seeing the same people come and compete is the big thing, and they want a competitive advantage. So as we're setting it up, you'll see them rolling by, and that kind of thing. So you always remember that, and then you remember their faces and just their determination. That is one thing you always remember, is that they're so determined to finish that it doesn't matter how long it takes, they're going to finish.
Absolutely.
So I guess that's one thing that I always remember, and I pass along to my fellow UPSers when you talk about volunteering. I said, they don't have any give up, and you always remember that.
Yeah. And again, it's like I said, it's that no lose, that kind of no quit, no lose attitude. And again, you wake up and you're literally the next day your life has changed. It's going to be different. But like you said, you have problems, you solve it. How do you get through it? And man,
Right.
we were just looking at William Ward. He just ripped through the curb.
Oh yeah.
And that's a steep curb, but again, they're definitely out there.
Oh yeah, they see those curbs every single day, so you learn how to navigate through them. But you normally don't have to do it at this pace,
No. The time, and again, like we said, I mean, they want to win, but at the same time, giving people advice and tips about what they saw on the course. Again, working together. That's the great part of it. But man, I can't. Having to go through like something like that every day is extremely tough. And competitor on the course, I don't know if he was added. Unfortunately, I saw his number, but I do not have. Oh, no, yes, I do. It's Jesse Lind. I missed the page. Jesse Lind is going through on the 5 course right now. And, man, he is – you get that momentum going, but then just to have to switch it and go backwards. And as Lind goes up the stairs, and they make it look so easy. But, again, that obviously as you're bouncing and it's coming back and forth, obviously the friction, the momentum, and just to keep the balance – again, I know I sound like a broken record, but it's just phenomenal to watch.
Yeah. Down he goes. He'll be all right. They practice at the airport on their way in. You see him on the escalators wheeling and just going up and down the escalators.
I was going to say, how do you think they practice? But now that you said that, I thought, even last year in Cincinnati when we got here, and even when I got here this year in Orlando, I saw a few. I'm like, I went down the escalator, and I'm like, this year I was like, slalom competitors.
Yeah, exactly. But they, I asked one of the athletes yesterday when we first started the slalom, so how do you actually practice? And he said, his answer to me, and it makes sense, it's every single day. I go upstairs every day. I go through curbs every day. I have to go through dirt every day. I have to open a door every single day, multiple times a day. So he said, that's how you practice. You just, it's stuff you have to do every day, and it's a challenge every day.
Is now on the 2 course. Wow, ripping through the sand fast was Ken Brookins. As wow, that is getting through that fast.
Got through that good. He really got through that good. I mean, you can see when they got that wheelie going, and if they can sustain it, they get through it a lot better because those caster wheels on the front stick.
Yes.
They just stick to everything.
And that's why, and we saw Hannigan have a little bit issues getting the caster stuck in the bungees, which again can happen. They get stuck, and he was able to keep it after that. I mean, he ripped through the rest of the course, and well, over there, Jesse Lind, a few little bumps, but he's able to get through. So when was the first games that you came to? What year was you?
I went to Salt Lake City. Okay. Oh no, I went to Tampa first. That was 5 years ago, so 2014.
Okay, wow.
Or 2013. And then Salt Lake City the year after that, and then
Okay.
Cincinnati last year.
That was my first. That was
and then
absolutely
it moves
awesome.
on to Louisville next year. And, you know,
Yes.
That's the capital of UPS is in Louisville. It's where all our air
Are you
goes through.
oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah, all of our aircraft go through Louisville, so it's going to be great to have it in Louisville. So I've been able to talk to the folks in Louisville. I spent time there opening up a new automated facility.
Okay.
So they're getting prepared, and the folks in Cincinnati, some of those folks in Cincinnati, they're right next to each other. They'll be there to help out. So
Nice.
it'll be great. It'll be another great games for UPS and the athletes.
Yeah, I was going to say Cincinnati's a hop, skip, and a jump away, so
Oh,
not
yeah.
too bad at all.
Absolutely.
Oh, that'll be good. So we'll have even more volunteers out from UPS, huh?
Oh yeah. Last year I know that they hit over 1,000 volunteers.
And what is it this year? I forgot to ask.
We're about 950 total.
Wow.
And it'll still grow between tomorrow and Saturday.
Okay.
But right now we have 950 that are registered.
Gotcha. What So and throughout the year though too. I mean, I know like there's obviously PBA has smaller events, but I mean, for veteran stuff, what kind of other local things do you get involved in?
Well, I'm an outdoorsman, and some of the stuff that I've been able to do, and I've done it through the Paralyzed Veterans, through the local chapter, is taking guys out that like to shoot. So go out trap shooting, deer hunting. We do a trip every year. I go every year. I've been going for 15 years to Kansas.
Oh, wow.
With 4 or 5 disabled hunters every year. So I get to do that, and then some fishing.
Okay.
And we took them actually gator trapping. Last year I went went 3 times with some guys in chairs actually doing gator trapping. So I do a lot of outdoor stuff for the guys.
Nice.
So and we have one of our managers today is out actually doing some adaptive golf with the Paralyzed Veterans today.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, Carl Morgan on the 5 course, athlete number 620, as he gets up and down the steps, and over on the 2 course here we have Ken Brookins, and man, look at it's like the 3rd or 4th one just to get that on the first try. Get high and that angle is tough because people say, oh, well, they're just kind of going up. No, you're in the chair.
Yeah.
And look at that as he goes through the finish line.
He went through good. And he was fast. He's going to be in the top. That's one of those top 5 times, absolutely.
Man. For the slalom last year, I walked everybody through the course. So I was videoing and showing everybody what it was. And some people started messaging, well, get it and show us how it's done. I was like, yeah, I'll let the pros do that one.
Yeah, absolutely. You might think it's easy, but it's not. It's not easy at all. Especially if you're not versed in a chair, you know. You just don't get in it and do what these guys can do, you know.
Oh, look at that. And the ramp going up to the little steep to the doors, but Carl Morgan over there. He's one of the first and Michael was talking about that, trying to get the door to go with you so you can just close it as you go down. You don't have to really stop, and you can lightly close it so a cone doesn't fall.
Right.
As he's able to come through, so wow, so nice. Got a few hobbies there with some of the vets.
Yeah, like I said, one of my best friends in the world is he's a quad. He got injured in the Air Force, and we met. He was with the Thunderbirds, and I did an event with the Thunderbirds, and we met. We didn't know it, and I went to his house one day, and there's a picture on the wall, and I'm in the picture. So we've been friends for about almost 20 years now, and ever since I've known him, he's been that way. So it's just a natural thing to gravitate towards these guys.
You met and you didn't know. See, the armed forces are. That's why I said earlier. I mean, you could have served obviously even in any one of the branches, and obviously I know you're not going to meet every single person in that branch, but even in opposite branches. But yeah, they're perfect examples. Someone in your branch that you were in a picture with, you're like, wait, that's me.
At his house, I said, I'm in that picture. He said, you can't be. This is only Thunderbirds. Folks that serve with Thunderbirds have this. And I said, well, I didn't serve with the Thunderbirds, but the Thunderbirds came to my outfit, and I coordinated the event, so they gave me one. And he said, no way. And I said, Ken, I'm right there in that picture. And I showed him the picture. So I have the same one in my
You're
house.
like, I don't have a twin brother
Right.
that was in the Air Force too. That was a Thunderbird.
Exactly.
So now on the 2 course, we have, Marco Bungert, a basketball and softball player. So he's been pretty busy at the games. As the week goes on, again, like any athlete, I know you're getting tired, but doing stuff every day, I mean, it's wearing down a little. So doing the slalom towards the end of the week and trying to qualify for the Super G at the very end of the week.
Oh, I know. And these guys, they do so many events. When you talk to them, like, what are you competing in? And they rattle off 5 or 6. I'm like, how do you do all those? Well, I was at they had a new event this year, a team relay.
Yes.
I was out at the training center. I went out there for that, and it's amazing. The guy swimming, and he's swimming 100 meters, and he just came off the quad rugby course to drive out there. And I'm like, you played 3 games of quad rugby, and now you're going to swim? He's like, it's going to be tough, but I can do it.
And I'll actually, because last year we covered track. I mean, we did basketball and rugby and softball and slalom and Super G, and we did track. But this year, so the track, I'll be at swimming tomorrow. I'll be my first time checking, so I can't wait to get out
It's
there.
amazing. It's amazing. The swimming events, it's tough to swim anyway. And then some of the challenge, and they just make it through. And he is blowing through.
Buster is just crushing it. Oh, and look, you can't get the cast.
He made that look easy, didn't he?
Unbelievable. And then on the other course, we have David Norris, who flew up the ramp, got through the sand quick, and look at him bouncing his chair through the crowd. Wow, that is absolute strength. And look at Bungert. He got up and down that ramp in one try and then bounced. Well, you just said top 5. That's got to be one of the top.
Oh yeah,
top 3 times
that was quick.
Wow.
I hadn't seen the bouncing technique that he did over there. That was awesome.
And especially with it not being a flat surface and where you could go, that is unbelievable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, that is just...
He went through that fast.
Wow. And last year at the slalom, I saw a few people just absolutely rip through it. And at the slalom, I mean, Jim, and I know they've done it a few years, and you said everyday things to get them ready. But the course, I mean, everyday things or not, it's still a little tough to...
Yeah, you can't make it easy, right? Nothing's easy, so that it'll make the course that easy.
But, that's what I said. I was teasing because I was teasing Chris, saying that, Mr. Michael right here, a fellow Air Force vet, I said, when he comes up, maybe you make the course, a little bit of a shortcut. But I go, no, they don't get shortcut. But you being a military man, nor do they want it.
No, not, you're absolutely right there. It's it always seems to take the tough way,
How long were you in the Air Force for?
I was in the Air Force for 4 years. I served from 1984 to 1988.
Okay, nice.
So then I came to UPS. So I've had 2 jobs in my life: the Air Force and UPS.
There you go. There you go. Nothing wrong with that, obviously. And again, supporting Veterans Affairs. But man, that's awesome. Well, hey, so you'll be out at Super G, right?
Oh, I definitely will be here.
I was going to say, you better be out at Super G.
We set it up tomorrow and get ready for it for Saturday. And we'll have about another 60 to 80 UPSers around cheering them on.
Nice.
So.
Well, we'll be out. That's our first stream on a championship day, as I like to call it there on Saturday.
We're looking forward to it.
But again, Jim Strong, Air Force vet and the Florida District Scanning and Automation Manager from UPS. And obviously, more than thank you for your support, but I mean sponsoring the slalom and the Super Gs. But I'll see you Saturday.
It was great. See you then. Nice talking to you.
All right, so Jim's going to step aside. We're going to catch up with Abby LaCoy, who has the distinct honor. Abby LaCoy joining us. Abby, so I heard you had a nickname here from some of the competitors. They said and I got to start with this right away because you design the course, and again, it's everyday problems, everyday issues, obstacles that they can have.
Yeah.
But some say it might be a little bit of a sadist. Chris was telling me that. He goes, he gets a nickname, but you've done it every year. You do a phenomenal job. But I mean, in coming into and designing the course, when you first started design, I mean, who did you work with, and what was I guess the thinking behind it?
Well, so I started 15 years ago
Okay.
under the mentorship of a gentleman named Coach Jim Hayes. He was a basketball and tennis coach. He himself was in a wheelchair. He was a quadriplegic. And he's really the mastermind behind slalom.
Okay.
His idea was if he could create a slalom course and you could go through the slalom course, you don't necessarily need ADA accessibility out in the real world. You could just hop a curb. You could get on a plane.
Right.
You can travel the world. And he wanted to have a venue, he wanted to have an event to showcase wheelchair skills and ability and the conquering of everyday obstacles out in the real world. And so
Regaining more independence.
regaining more independence
That's
just in the
awesome.
wheelchair. So yeah, so I can't really take credit. He taught me everything I know.
Right.
I have just kind of taken it from there with designing the course with the idea of really focusing on things you find in the everyday world. Going up a door that's set on a ramp, which is more common than one would actually think.
Yeah.
And then needing to close the door when you're also on a ramp. Common stuff. You know, going over sand, rock, gravel. I mean, nothing is on a perfect concrete surface out in the world. Going over a simple sidewalk that it has lots of, cracks in it and debris on it.
Right.
So when I design a course, I think of all of those things. I just maybe happen to put it together in a real shorter segment that they have to do over the course of 3, 4, 5 minutes.
Right. No, but again, I was just kidding because Chris Pack
Yes.
was telling me, he goes, you get that nickname. I was like, man, it's like being a referee or an umpire, man. Half the people are going to love you. Half the people are not going to love you on a call or
And
or
I like to
design.
think at the end they all love me.
Absolutely
Maybe not
no.
during it.
No, and I talked about it last year because last year was my first in Cincinnati, and I remember talking to you there, and I was like, man, I'm like, come on, Santa. And then when I started talking to people, like, what if you come up to, construct, there's dirt or something like
Yeah.
that, same difference in the sand, dirt, and I was like, because I was like, I think sand and beach, and they're like, yeah, but dirt, same thing, and I'm like, oh, that makes sense, and, having to turn your chairs, and I mean, pop up big curves, and again, like, you're right, if nobody's around,
Right.
To help you, and again, in the beginning, and I have, friends that are, have been in wheelchairs and helping them out, and it's, and I'm like the backwards part. I'm like, why did they make them go backwards or showing up? But sometimes it's actually safer and better to
Yep.
go up something backwards the way
Correct.
you lean than it would be to
Absolutely.
go forward. So,
And like right here, this is a prime example of you can either go down a whole entire block to a curb cutout to get up onto a sidewalk or up onto a curb, or
Right.
you can figure out how to do it in your chair using a stop sign, using a parking ramp, using a parking meter, using something to help you get up on a curb.
right.
And the truth is when these guys are done going through a course, they absolutely have better skills to do their everyday environment.
Right. Yeah. And again, yeah, sometimes, people will be there to help you out, but
Right.
it's also one of those things where if they're not, then it's
You gotta do it on your own.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
be able to get through it yourself.
Yeah.
So wait, so have you said it? Have you ever tried it in a chair? Have you?
So yes, I have.
Okay.
When I first got involved in this, they asked me to do the slalom, and I said I'll only do it if I can get in the chair and try it myself. And I will openly admit that halfway through, I picked up my chair and walked across. And I thought, I can't do that if I'm going to design this. So I practiced my wheelchair skills, and I could at one time do it in a chair.
Wow.
And honestly, I got pregnant. It changes your whole center of gravity.
Yes.
And I haven't been able to regain my skills since, unfortunately. But the guy that I kind of co-design with and work with, Joe, he's an able-bodied gentleman who can do every obstacle and who has done every obstacle in a chair.
Well, Patrick Burns, man, he ripped through the second half of the course and the angled ramp. Because
Yes.
explain it, when you go up, you have to get your front wheels over the white line without your back wheel touching the shiny silver part there.
Right.
And then come back down. And if you
Right.
don't, you have to go back.
have to start all
and
over
the angle
again.
is so tough. They make it look too easy. I mean,
It is tough.
I know it's tough, but they make it look. A lot of competitors have made it look really, really easy.
That's what I love about slalom is it doesn't really matter your athletic ability. It matters your wheelchair skill ability, and they can really finesse it through the course way more than you or I could.
And it's right, and it's upper body finesse. And because I'm saying to everybody throughout the weeks that I have said it a million times, but even last year, not having the use of your core. I mean, people,
Yep.
you think of it, you're like, okay, I've sat in my friend's wheelchair, moved around, and I'm like popping. Well, I'm not going too far, and I'm going to make sure I'm somewhere soft, but I'll kind of pop a wheelie, and I'm like, oh yeah, but it's one of those things
Right.
where when you look at it, they have no use of their cores, and it's all upper body. And some, don't have use of maybe their triceps a little bit or anything. And And it's just.
And they still
it's
are
amazing.
doing it.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
It's amazing. And then,
it's how to work with the chair. Instead of making the chair work against you, it's
right.
finding that tipping point on the chair, working with the chair, and kind of being one with the chair, knowing when you can go left and right, and just really knowing your chair and your center of gravity.
Yes, and it's Abby LaCroix. So I picked on her early, but I didn't come up with a nickname. I'm just saying the
No.
awesome designer, fun designer of
I've heard
the
it
course.
before, and I wear that nickname proudly, because if that is the nickname I've been given, that means I've challenged them and they've had a good time.
Right, and they're doing, yes, and again, gaining more independence.
Yes.
Because it's tough for anybody, no matter, obviously, even if you, as a kid, obviously Kids Day yesterday,
Yep.
and I mean, that's just awesome, because, parents get to come out and see, like, wow, there is adaptive sports, or something that it's competitive. It's not just like, oh, we're just here to
Right.
let them throw and play. It's like, no, like, yeah, you want out there to form a bond, but, like, you bang around. You can fly, slam in. I mean, the rugby court, and they get, different branches of the military, of course, they get chippy and, talk a little trash to each other, but they sit there and they have, again, that understanding, but it's like more independence for them, which is great. And for the kids to see that, too, it's even better.
The kids, they go through a slalom, too, and they have such a great time. They it's almost like a little playground for them to go through the slalom, to go around these obstacles, and they have a little fun. And, again, it increases their independence and having fun while doing it.
Oh, Thomas Durbin, he played, I think, softball yesterday. He's on the 2 course as he's Val gets through the first part pretty quickly. Sand and everything. Well, fans, don't forget, as we bring you slalom, but you can check out wheelchairgames.org/live-streaming.com for times and links to the rest of the live streams this week. Again, that's wheelchairgames.org/live-streaming.com for times and links to the rest of the live streams. As we're at slalom now, we'll be at rugby in a little bit, and then Super G, obviously, on Saturday.
Super G.
I have to go see swimming for the first time tomorrow. We're doing
swimming's
tomorrow,
awesome.
So, yeah.
Swimming's amazing. I watch those guys swim through that pool. It's you know what? Every event is just incredible to show what these guys can do and the abilities and their determination, where they never give up. They persevere so much in any event that they do. It's really inspiring.
Trying to see the.
Keep it high.
476. That's Michael Thomas over on the 5 course. As he's making his way through. Making those uneven, ginormous speed bumps look easy.
We call them parking ramps.
Parking ramps,
the parking ramp out, and
yeah.
I just may have staggered them and put them a little closer together than a regular old parking ramp in a parking lot, but they're really the same height and same design as a parking ramp.
No, they are the same height. When I saw them, because I remember last year just walking through and showing everybody, and they're like, yeah, you should get in and try. I was like, there's no need to embarrass myself. I said, going up the ramp stuff, I would try, but trying to get through the sand and everything, not knowing how to lean. And you're right. You have to own those skills.
Yep.
I mean,
you do.
It becomes a skill, and like going through doors. Although I will say this, I know everybody's a critic, and I can't stand most critics anyway. But the cones on top of the door, I get you want them to have balance. But I mean, to come through, if they bump into the door and a cone falls, I think that's unfair because people bump into a door. That's all I'm saying.
And I will tell you this, that is to save my door, because sometimes these guys slam my door so hard.
Fair enough.
So funny how when you all of a sudden put 5-second cones on top, they kind of take it a little easier on my equipment.
Well, I do think
how
there
that
should be you shouldn't get to fly through and just slam. It's just a closed normal. But I mean, like I said, everybody can nitpick. People didn't tell Picasso how to paint, nor should they have. But anyway.
I mean, this backwards wheelie here isn't exactly fair either, but.
But it is. But it is.
But yet they can do it.
Well, yes, exactly.
And yet they can do it.
Durbin going through it there, and
he's rocking it.
Oh, I know. Let's see.
Come on, Tommy. Pull yourself up. Get up that pole.
You have to angle it away from the sign, because as you come up, you get pulled towards the sign.
And it's kind of a pull-push motion, so you're kind of doing 2 different things.
Right.
And we do design the course to give them other options such as that, to give him room to back up and to go forward and to choose whether or not he's going to pull up with his left hand or his right hand first. I mean, we don't want to trick them up so much. We want to make them successful. He's got this. He's learned the first 2 times how to do it, and he'll get it.
Let's go, Tommy. Third period. Let's go. Push. Come on, Tommy.
Repping that. Oh, just gets turned a little bit.
Try it again.
You also can hear his fellow competitors just cheering him on, which is one thing I love the most about this course
And
or
giving
this
advice
event.
to each
and giving
other.
advice.
Yeah.
And they will not over on the 5 course. There were a couple people there about to just DQ, and the fellow competitors wouldn't allow them. They went back and told them to go back and redo it just so people don't DQ.
Now, if you and to clarify too, if you accidentally skip an arrow or miss something, and you can go back and correct it right away. But if you go to the finish line and turn around, you have to do every other course from that point on.
From that point on.
Every other obstacle.
Every other obstacle. So even if you've already done them, you have to redo them because not only are the obstacles part of the game and part of the competition, but also reading your course, reading what we have laid out, reading to go backwards, reading to go over the obstacles. So.
Number 59. That's Jennifer Steele. Another woman, more women in the competition this year.
There are. I like it.
Love to see.
I love it.
I'd love to see the obstacle courses you put up for your kids because that's got to be fun for them.
It is fun for them.
You are the gatekeeper and the keymaster, to quote the great movie in Ghostbusters. Now, but you put together a phenomenal course.
Well, thank you.
Obviously, the partnership with UPS.
Oh,
great
you know,
too.
I couldn't do what I do without UPS. UPS has been sponsoring this event from the get-go. Not only are they just here in a supportive presence cheering these guys on, but they are my muscle behind setting up and taking down all of these courses. And you know, in a true woman fashion, I move things 6 or 7 or 8 times before I know, right?
No.
Before I have it exactly where I want it. And yet they never really get too frustrated with me. And you know, we work long hours to make it happen so willingly, and UPS is there with me every step of the way. I can't give them enough credit for their help and their part in this. I couldn't do what I do without them.
They couldn't do what they do without you because I know they don't want to have to take the challenge of designing the course. So how did you get involved in the games?
I was ambushed, to be honest with you. When it was in St. Louis, where I live, they needed a local person to help out. And they asked, the people running it asked me several times, and I said no. I was working at the VA at the time. And so they decided one day that they would call me every half hour and disrupt my day until I would finally give in and say yes. And to this day, I thank those people because they have changed my life by getting me involved and ambushing me to do it. And I've never looked back. I'm so grateful to be involved, and I'm grateful for the VA for the opportunity.
And Durbin, look at that, showing balance, man. Get through the course. Great job by Thomas Durbin. And he gets through the course, and now Jennifer Steele still going on the other side. That's awesome. So you got involved. So you've been coming. So how many years has it been then?
15.
15. Every
15
year
years.
Since St. Louis. Nice.
Yes, sir. Haven't missed a year, and I'm not sure I plan on it. God willing.
Well, hopefully next year. I'd love to be here. So maybe next year in Louisville, I'll try it. Let me set it up. I'll see if I can.
We'll find you a chair. We'll get you in there.
Yeah,
we'll get you out there.
Thanks.
Have no fear. If you're willing, we are too, my friend.
But not like once it's set up. You know, I'll try and get through a few. But
or the whole thing.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna take the Rams first because the sand and stuff. That's just I don't have to. I can't practice
Sure, you
that at
can.
home.
Sure,
All right,
you
fine.
can.
I'll try it.
There you go. That's what I'm talking
You'll
about.
set it up. It'll take an hour to get me through.
We'll get you through it. We'll coach you.
Yeah, but
You'll learn quickly. You might not be able to pop a wheelie at the start of it.
right. I can kind of pop a wheelie on my friends,
well,
but like
then
I said,
you're
I have
fine.
to make sure. But yeah, I haven't gone forward, and I just
Well,
pop a
don't
wheelie
worry.
and
By
sit
the time
there.
you're done with the course, you will.
Okay, there you go.
You'll know how to do it. You'll be great.
Yeah, see, look at her. She's already saying, ambushed into doing it. She's looking forward. All right, we'll let you go. We're going to bring Michael back. Thank you so much. So, Abby
welcome.
LaCoy, the
Thank you.
designer of this course, helping UPS out, and they challenged her with that, and now these vets completely owe their more independence to your design, too. So
It's
that's
more
awesome.
than my pleasure, and enjoy.
Well, I'll catch up with you at Super G,
Sounds
too.
like a good. Oh, we'll be there.
Yes.
It's going to be a good time. Super G is going to be awesome this year.
Thank you so much. Abby LaCoy, as she goes back to making sure everybody's doing it right. Now we, again, and just ripping through the course. It looks like that's Daniel Rose, number 706, who's going through the course on 2 as Mr. Gilboa joining us again.
Oh, yeah,
so
I'm back.
Okay, you've seen a lot of competitors. You had a great friends from UPS, Jim Strong and Chris Peck, and then Abby LaCoy, the phenomenal designer of the course for the last 15 years.
Coach Hage's protege.
Yes, Coach Hage. She talked about it. She goes, I can't take full credit, but she's actually said she has went through the course in a chair. She had to own her skills a little bit, but and there's a few one other able-bodied person that had chair skills that gets through it. So she goes, I might set it up a little bit. Something's a little bit tighter, but
Did
it's
she
everyday
claim
skills.
credit for her Abby design? That new
Yes, she did.
that one curb thing. Few people have gone off and had to go start it again.
Exactly.
It's surprising. The littlest thing can be tricky,
Everybody cheering, and there are some people on the 5 course, Mike. I know you've been going back and forth, right? That have just ripped through that course, man.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and
but it's a lot of them because they walk so much, being class 5s.
right.
They're not in the chair as often, and some of them were struggling as bad as some of the 2s over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I
you said, some of them do rip. Terry Rock,
Yeah.
T-Rock's over
T-Rock,
there, man. You see him
Has
in
he
the super.
gone yet? He hasn't gone yet, has he?
He's on the perennial Super G guy, and
But he hasn't gone yet, has he?
I haven't seen him
Yeah,
over
I
there
haven't seen
go
him
yet.
go yet. You're right. Okay. I did lobby though for them to maybe give you,
My super
some
cue?
some extra shortcuts. Cut that time off. I lobbied. I said, I know, he's might take a little shortcut if it's okay with you.
Well, Billy Hannigan, one of my favorite shortcuts when he was doing his run, a good friend of mine from New York. He got hung up in the bungees. Is like, just unhook him. I asked him during the walkthrough, is it illegal? Can I unhook the bungees? And it's legal. If it's hung up, you can actually unhook it and just get it out of there and cruise through. Because he tore this course up, and the bungees ate him up.
Yeah, and that's what slowed him up, because after that he ripped through it.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Ripped
he's
through
a beast. He's a beast. I've known Bill for many years, and I was surprised that that's what got him. He had a little more trouble with the post here, too. I tell you, some of these guys hit curbs often enough, you don't even really need the post. They get in the wheelie and they get the speed. We get the air tires and not solid tires just for that reason. When you hit a curb, they bend and can help pull you up.
Yes.
And a solid tire would spin. And some of these guys hit this thing hard enough, had they just pushed their wheel rather than reach for the thing, they'd have been up anyways.
Right.
But, to each his own. You see one guy... And
there
the
was a
guy that
competitor
got real creative on the teeter-totter when he couldn't push it, he cranked everything and looked like he was doing really strong, but he just, the last obstacle, it's like, this is the last hard one. After the ladders, they thought he was done, but he just couldn't quite get up the teeter-totter without backing down, so he got sideways and did like we do in a bicycle, back and forth across the hill until he got to the pivot point.
I saw him.
Yeah,
and did you see the competitor over there that was bouncing on the rocks?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
he was hopping it like a bunny hop.
Yeah.
It's like, if it's going to spin, I'll just bunny hop the thing out of here.
That was unbelievable. And now
it's all about adapt and overcome, whatever works for you,
And like I was saying with that.
And here's another one. I've noticed these guys that are not real comfortable with the wheelie, can go forward over the cones, no problem, but going backwards is tricky and they don't want to take a chance of falling. They're not wasting time. They're just pulling the cones right back.
Right.
I'll take the penalty, and I'll just go through these and go to the next ones.
Right.
They're not even wasting time or a chance of falling, because he just did it again, and that's probably about the 6th person I've seen do it. And they're doing it on the 5 course, too.
Yeah.
Not all of them can do a wheelie backwards.
Right.
See, look, he pushed it right up without ever using the bar.
Nice.
Yeah, straight on,
Great
straight
job
off.
there by Rose.
Oh, so he ought to be able to rip this pretty good. Come on, bounce it and get that next bouncy. If you bounce time that right and the wheel bounces up just as you're pushing, you come right up onto the second set of bars.
And the momentum just takes you, right?
It's just a matter of keeping that front end up. And some people make it look flat. One guy I saw in the 5 course ran it just like that,
Absolutely. As Rose, again, going through, and
he got the front up, finished now. People have been, I don't know if Abby got generous and shortened the degrees of the hill this year.
Yeah, because there's been some going through pretty quick.
Yeah, and the
Both
thing is,
on both sides.
In many years, we've seen that be an obstacle that people had to come at again and again.
Well, on the Super G last year, I saw quite a few have to come back.
Oh, that's that. Well, she put one into the other. She had one leading right into another last year.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, that she can get creative. We used to tease Coach Hayes. What, did you have a nightmare and then you just woke up and I think I'll put this in the 4-course next year.
Exactly. But that's on the other course. Jennifer Steele trying to finish up over on the 5-course as she gets through the ladder there. Now has
just
the
at the
ramp.
Yep. Climb up the ramp, get across.
And again, the casters, right, have to be over the white line and your back wheels have to be off the silver, right?
Yep. You have to have all 4 wheels above the silver, and you got to go to the right far enough so both casters at the same time are over the white line. What you need to do is, it gets tippy on that incline, so you really need to lean up into the hill.
Right.
Because you saw she tipped over a little bit the first try. Well, another one with the teeter-totter.
Oh, yeah.
Take a run at it. If not, Mr. Durbin just demonstrated a way to get up there.
Unbelievable.
Hey, you know.
The last obstacle, you're tired. Your arms are probably jello, right, Mike?
Yeah.
Look at it.
Come on. She made it. She pushed through it. Get that front end up. Yeah, and it's only like a ½ inch at the end there, but just getting that wheelie up to get over that lip.
Right.
Like you said, your arms are rubber by then.
I'm not laughing at that, but it's so tough, and then just the drive that it takes as she
we got a
finishes
new
the course.
starter ripping through the rocks and skinny wheels.
That was that's Sean Ryan.
Sean Ryan just made quick work of those rocks, and he's not even on fat tires.
Yeah, no cheesiness, but no quicksand there for Mr. Ryan.
Yeah, no, he got through that pretty quick. So this little triangles ought to be no problem.
Yeah, they're not so little, but he is.
You just kind of pop up and drop a curb.
Look at that, yeah.
Now this one wheel thing, Abby's new event. It's harder.
You're showing off your I'm laughing because you're showing off your balance, and it is hard because if you lean too far to your left, you're going to fall down.
You only got to worry about that one wheel, but God, I did it last night in my course, and it's trickier than it looks.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and a lot of guys just make this stuff look so easy.
Look at that right there. Or Thomas Durbin, not Sean. Thomas. Sean's going right now. Look at that. He gets through the.
Yeah. He's climbing the stairs nicely. Kept that front end up. Keep pushing. There you go. Front end up. He's dropping down right now.
And Jay Taylor is up. Jataya. I know Tim Pogo actually spoke with her and featured her. She was on field
ripping
events.
through the sand and the peat stone pretty good.
Look at Jay go through that.
Yeah, it did take her long to get through that. That jumps out into an air mattress, which doesn't make for the easiest pushing.
No, it does not.
Yeah, she's going through the simple section as he's rocking those curves pretty easily.
Got through
he kept
the bungees
front
pretty
end
good.
up in the bungees, and that's been a hang-up for a lot of people.
Taylor is really owning the course over there, Michael.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I know, terrible pun, but par for the course over there because it seems like that for a lot of the competitors.
Oh, yeah, well, obviously someone pretty comfortable in the chair.
So as Taylor, look at that. Oh, well, look at that.
She's getting
Michael,
through the bungees.
she must have heard Coach. She must have heard Coach G talking over here.
She's just tearing it up.
Man.
See, now he's taking the time to go backwards over the wheelies, but he got it without hitting it.
Good job by Ryan there. You're right. And now he goes forward again. No problem.
He did a good job with the bungees and the rocking, too.
Yes, he did.
Now, he's a little bit ahead of her.
Oh.
She just did the bungees and the rockers, no problem. She's going to be heading up the door. He's in the bars of death. Let's see how good he hits that one. Oop, okay, nobody touched him. He's safe. All right.
Got to get that
She's
momentum, like you're saying, right, to get that first bounce on that ladder, right, Mike?
Oh, man, I tell you, the secret is to have a little bit of run. Like that last person that did the curb right here, when Sean did the curb, he didn't even touch the pole. He just popped the wheelie and had enough speed that he popped over the curb and went right off the other end.
Right.
The same thing there. If you have enough to pop over that first one and it drops down in the hole, we have just push it with your second one. The front end's still up. It gets onto the top rollers in the ladder.
And Jay, when she went forward and backwards on the wheelie with the cones right there, as now she's at the curb. And Sean, look at that, gets up the ramp, no problem.
Yeah,
goes up the teeter-totter, and then look at that. Great job by Sean Ryan.
He did a heck of a run, and she's still tearing it up, too, over there.
Nice.
She's in the bars of death now.
Got good momentum, though.
See, she got that nice pop and carried it right through. Held the front end up and just rolled over it.
Look at that, all four wheels up. Got the casters
nothing but
over.
the finish.
Look at that momentum.
Teeter-totter ain't slowing her down.
Ooh, and Jay Taylor across the line. I said lane because she plays basketball too. See, I'm mixing them up, Michael.
Yeah. Nope, she did tear it up. There's Mr. Durbin, this creative man.
So much fun. So much fun.
Oh man, Sean Ryan very happy that he said he had so much fun. He made it look easy though. I guess when you make it look easy, it's more fun, right?
Oh, absolutely. You know.
No, and I laugh because again, the word "easy" in this is it's a joke.
Yeah, and the thing is, like I'm sure Abby talked about, and I mentioned previously, this is all to get people used to what's out in the real world for them. All right, we got one starting in the sand now on the two course.
And she was saying, I mean, you're talking about Coach Hazenstein. Of course, they wanted players to be, or obviously vets and whoever, but in wheelchairs, gaining that independence back because that's big.
Right.
As human beings, that's big for us,
get
no matter
out
what.
there and be able to get around town, and if you like to go fishing, be able to push through the grass and the sand and stuff like that. So this was all just reality, but you know, and right here, these courses that qualify you for the Super GR, but like I said, the cream of the crop, the two fastest, no matter what class of each course gets to do the Super G. And now that is not real life. You know, you've seen it.
That's part real life, but part very, 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 very challenging. And so on the course.
What did he do? He's got to go back. He just ran the whole course, and he didn't even put the right wheel up. So, see, he was smart. He didn't go to do another obstacle. He went right back and realized what he's got to do here.
Well, on the 5 course, we have Felix Davila.
Yeah, and he went through it. He's on the skinny tires. And, the air mattress bit his front end.
And that's what you said, keeping that lean back, even though I have momentum, keeping that lean back.
Yeah, those front tires, especially in the soft stuff like the sand and the pea stone and the air mattress, are like tent posts. They'll plant you on your face in a heartbeat.
Now we got Darius Jones, played a little, Darius Jones played some basketball.
He's doing a nice job with the stairs.
Yes, absolutely.
Good momentum. One more push, there you go.
And look at Darius.
All right, let's see what he does with the bungees. It's been a killer of a lot of super athletes. Get that front end high, keep it up.
Well, he's all right. He's all right. Listen, look at Coach. He listened to you. He heard you.
Yeah,
you Red Sox guys. You might be an okay coach too. You might be an okay coach.
Now he's got a rocket. This is the one that gets me. They won't put this in our course. Abby's caught me trying to do this. She's like, Mike, get out of there. I'm like, well, I want a Super Q. Just let us do the 2
You've been
course.
saying that's right. Last year, the Super Q. I love it. I love it.
They won't let quads do the Super G. I'm like, do the Super Q. Just let us do this 2 course. It would be a challenge, and that would be the hardest obstacle. She's caught me trying to test if I could make it or not. And
How far have you gotten?
Off of there.
How far have you gotten?
Oh, I rocked a couple, and she's like, get off it. Because I was alone. There was nobody around, so I didn't have all the spotters and the helmets. Abby's like, get off of that.
I know you're a tough guy, but come on. You might need a spotter the first time.
Yeah.
There's Felix Davila on the other course over there going through pretty well, Mike. Got up.
Yeah, He's a little low in the bungees, though. R2 kept the wheels up better.
Yeah.
See, he's doing the unhook the bungees from the board, which is totally legal. I asked him in walkthrough last year, if you get hung up, can you unhook the bungee? And that was legal. And
Like
it ended up happening.
from your tire.
No, from the wall.
Oh, from the wall.
From the
Oh,
course.
so that's legal.
I
There's no
asked
time
him
penalty.
during walkthrough that, no,
Okay.
if you get hung up and if it's easier for you to unhook it from the wall than your
Okay.
chair, it's legal. I asked him in walkthrough, and
Okay.
that's what he was doing because he's not doing good with the wheelies at all on the 5 course. So he's just unhooking and unwrapping the bungees and rolling through.
And look how Darius Jones got through the door. That ramp is that is a little steep, Michael. Like you said, that's a little steep.
Yeah, I mean, you open the door and then you want to go back down the hill. It's like, wait a minute, I got to go up through the door. See, she was at least gracious enough to give us a flat in the threshold. Let's see if he decides to do wheelie both ways. Or, a
Darius
lot of guys
Jones.
don't want to take the time.
Ooh, he didn't knock it over. So that's all right because he didn't knock it over.
No, he touched it.
Oh, if you
She's
touch it,
going
I
to
see.
kick it. She's going to knock it over and say, once it's touched.
Nice job by Darius there, going through backwards.
Yeah, he cleared that one
Solid
clean.
job.
Front ones ain't too bad because, you stay up longer than you need to, realizing, your cast it's already under you. Put them down and go, man.
Yeah.
You don't realize it, so.
And Davila, well, he got through the bungees over on the far course, Michael.
Yeah, it took him a while, but
Yeah.
now he's going to have to rock, and those are a tricky obstacle.
It's Darius Jones.
He's spinning that wheel a little bit, like got to be against before to get it. All right, take another run. There you go.
Yeah. And that's what Abby said. Give a little bit of room so they could get space, get some momentum, and ooh.
Yep. Never get the front end up. He's got enough speed. If he gets the front end up, should just be able to push it.
There he goes.
Keep the.
So you got the turn there as Davila on the 5 course got through the
up to
curb,
the door
the
now. Huh?
curb.
She did the rocking.
Hey, you know what? I do got to give you props. I did see 2 competitors over there do what you said, kind of keep going straight through, but reach behind, bring the door with them.
Yeah.
They didn't have to turn. They didn't have to really stop, and they didn't knock the cone down. Coach, come on, Coach.
Hey, I've run it 20 years. I've run a few courses. I don't have the ability all these people have. It's like, but I don't really want to go first and show my tricks either.
That's what I'm talking about. There he goes. Darius gets up. He's able to take it through, and now, well.
Yep. Now the ladder of death.
Oh, yes.
And he's been working for a while now. He's got a good pump going in those arms, and then you get into one of the trickiest obstacles on the course.
Very good. He got over the first one.
Yep. Keep that up. Oh, yeah. He's
got a nice lean back.
Yeah. He's got the back lean to keep the front end light.
Nice.
Yeah, he made good work of that.
Very light.
Yeah. He's making up some time there because that's one that eats a lot of people. Right, lean uphill, buddy. Lean uphill. You got it. You got it. Push.
And Davila on the other course didn't knock any cones over. Went forward and backwards over the cones there. And look at
all right, now he just
Darius
got to finish
Jones.
the teeter-totter. Let's go. One strong finish. Push it hard. Push it hard.
Leaning
One
forward,
more good push.
trying
Quick
to get
hands.
the balance.
Quick hands. Yep, leaning forward. Notice how his chest is almost on his knees. You need to get your forward weight forward. Bingo.
Goes down the stairs and
Finish
Jones
strong.
finishes
All
very
right.
strong. Great job there by Darius Jones.
All right. We got someone in the ladder of. On the 5, we're in the ladder of death and kind of stuck over there.
Oh, Felix Davila.
Yep. Got over that first rung, dropped in the hole. There, he's up now. He's on. There you go.
It's like Austin Parker coming up on the 2 course, Michael, as
Yeah.
Davila now gets through.
Yep.
Now it's got the,
Now he's got the ramp.
angled ramp. Yeah, I forgot about that in the Super G last year, how one led to the other, because people got the first one pretty good, but then going right into the second one, that was really super tough.
Yeah, she definitely. That's what I'm saying. When you get to the Super G, it's the slalom on steroids. This may be getting people for getting around town, but I'm telling you, you could get around Mount Rushmore if you can do the Super G.
Absolutely.
That's not your everyday obstacles.
No,
they dream up some
no.
beauties. And Saturday, if you're not doing anything, you gotta do the Super G.
Yes, and well, great segue, Mr. Michael, as you can go to wheelchairgames.org. wheelchairgames.org/live-streaming.com. Again, it's wheelchairgames.org/live-streaming.com. And it has for times and links to the rest of the live streams this week. So we'll have Super G on Saturday, but a little bit more to get to here with Slalom. Got some rugby coming up in a little bit too as well.
There's a fresh tool going into the sand. Yeah. Oh, kind of hit the lip and didn't even get in over the first thing. There we go. Yeah. Skinny tires.
It is Austin Parker as he's taking off on the 2 course.
Yeah, I'll tell you. He had a rough stop, but he's making pretty quick work of the stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say the sand a little tough, but he gathered himself and got through it.
Oh, yeah, he's already ripped through the air mattress, and now he's over to the 3 little pyramid jumps, you know. 3 little cheer jumps, I guess. Climb the ramp, jump the curb. Climb the ramp, jump the curb.
Wow, that was a very fast start.
Yeah.
Getting through the sand for Samuel Johnson. As Austin Parker got through the 3 little jump ramps, and now he's
He did the 1-wheel curb they've caught up now. R5 is on the 1-wheel curb also.
Yep.
Coming right down the end. They're about getting the same spot in the course. They're both getting ready to hit the stairs.
Samuel Johnson Jr., I should say.
Oh, wow. Now, he made great work of those stairs.
Yeah,
wow.
Great
it looked
job
flat.
by Parker.
Yeah, he just picked the wheel up and went right up. If he did that, he ought to be able to look at how high he's keeping those wheels.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, he's not even touching a bungee. Oh, he's making it look easy here. And I'll tell you what, they're actually neck and neck on a 5 and a 2 course. They're both doing the rumble parking strips.
And Samuel Johnson. Austin, this is probably the most even we've seen.
Oh
both
yeah,
sides.
I mean
Now, because they're competing against each other in time, right?
No, they're competing against each other in their class.
In their class.
Those 5s are competing against the other 5s.
Okay.
2s are competing against the 2s.
Right, okay.
But what's really interesting is how close they are in times, and I haven't seen the difference in the courses. I think they're both running the same course, it looks to me.
Yeah, oh no, they are. They are.
First little hiccup, he was rocking. But he had to take 2 runs at the hill.
Look at that, going through backwards. Oh, and Parker, again, going through the door. Samuel Johnson Jr.
Sam Jr. is going for the wheelies.
Nice wheelie.
Is he going to go the backwards one? Oh, yeah. He's like, I ain't taking any penalties.
Look at that.
Clean
so
one.
if you skip it, what's the penalty again? You told me, but I...
Well, it's so many seconds a cone.
Oh, okay. Cone. I see.
Usually every cone is a second on the big cones that they mark. I don't know exactly. I know the door ones are more.
Oh, man. Michael, you just mentioned he flew right up the curb. He flew right up the curb.
That's what I'm saying. Some of those guys that are used to going up and down curbs, they don't even need the sign. They just hit it, pop the wheelie, keep their hands on the wheels, and push it right up. That's why they have the air-filled tires. They dent on the curb, and then you just push it, just drives you right over.
He goes up the ramp, and Samuel Johnson Jr., wow. Yeah. That last part of the course, he goes through the finish line. Man. Because now we go back to Austin Parker.
And Austin, who was neck and neck with him, all of a sudden he pulled away. But Austin still got a clean run going up. He got 1 cone there on that last wheelies. All right, here we go on the...
So now Parker coming up to the curb. Again, trying to get some momentum going. He's worked, again, ripped through that first half of the course.
Oh, man, he almost just jumped right up on the curb.
You got it. Come on.
Trying to using the sign there. And again, leaning forward. They'll get that lean. Any little extra momentum, like you talked about, Michael's huge.
Yeah, yeah. You know, that weight on the back of the chair you're trying to pull up. If the front's already up, lean forward and put the weight on the front. There you go. Come on now. Yeah.
Oh, almost.
You can see how some of us let the air out of our tires. You can see when he starts to grip see how the tire bends?
Yeah.
You know, another little trick is let a little air out of the tires in the slalom. You get a little more grip.
Really?
I mean,
but not too much. Can't do too much.
No, you don't want too much. You don't want to be riding on rims. You need the suspension and the bounce with, you know, these kind of things. You want to bounce over and stuff. But a little bit out gives them a little more grip, because when we're doing the court sports, basketball, rugby, you got 100, 110 pounds. And
absolutely.
They're hard as a rock because you want speed. You're not worried about a bump.
That's 100% true, my friend.
And he's doing good on the bars of death. He's got that front out up pretty high. He's just... You can see how the fatigue sets in.
Yeah, well,
They
yes.
started, you know, he was doing a good, clean run. He was no problem with the front end on the bungees and the rock the cones here. But he got a little hung up on the hill. He started to fatigue out. Fought a little bit on the curb. And, you know.
And we got Brian, real quick, we got Brian McCrickard over on the 5 course.
He's getting ready to take
and look at this. Well, Austin Parker made a little bit of a run, got up the ramp, a little bit of challenge, but that's a really solid time for him on that course, Michael.
Yeah. No, he did a pretty good run. He was really smoking it at the beginning, but just goes to show you how it does take its toll. Because some of the obstacles, after seeing what he did early in the course, I'd have thought some of the obstacles that he had trouble with wouldn't have been that big of a problem.
Absolutely.
Like you said, it just adds up one after another another. You know, eventually your arms give out.
And Abby brought up a great point, because she asked, you know, what do you do for training? Well, the thing is that if you look at the thing, but
I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. You guys on the line? Sorry. Oh. I was just talking with him. I just wanted to meet because we're from all way back. He's my roomie buddy, but he's
you room with this guy? I'm sorry. I'm sorry you room with this guy. Man, you're a glutton for punishment. You room with him.
I'm his roommate. Hey, listen, still, he helps me. I help
man,
him.
You got a roommate?
Well, we all work together. Well,
he helps you?
He's professional now.
He helps you?
So we have
we use that loosely.
So you guys have got one more round?
176. Yeah. So McCricken, though, look at that. Did good with the bungees there.
Yeah, and I mean, we missed the start. He must have ripped through the sand and stuff to get over the things to already be at the bungees. Doing the rock and roll parking lot.
The rock and roll parking lot.
Yeah. No, you gotta basically rock the chair left to right as you're pushing to get over those bumpers.
As McCricken, he's like almost getting through the course, and when he finishes up, we're going to be getting out of here, Michael, because we got to head over to rugby.
Yeah, rugby's really starting up, huh?
Quad rugby.
You guys stay busy, and I'll tell you, you're doing a great job. It's nice to get this out in.
Well, it's nice to hang out again, because
last
year, I mean, you were throwing stuff at me. You said you were going to come visit me in Arizona throughout the year, and once in the year, and you never did.
Yep.
I didn't want to call you out yesterday because it was our first day working together. But now, since we're old pros, you said you might come visit me in Arizona.
Yep. I got a friend that lives down there, actually a couple, and they've been trying to get
me
out there for
I know.
years.
You told me that last year, so I said you come out.
Yeah.
I know. I'm not saying it's easy, but come on, you do this course, so it's not too hard for you. Yeah. You can't trick me, buddy. Well, you try. Good. Sometimes you do. I mean, wearing that Red Sox shirt, being a Yankees fan. I mean, come on. That's reverse psychology. No, I'm just kidding. If you see him, he's about to throw me in this course now.
Oh my God.
Mr. Gilbell's not a Yankees fan. Oh, look at that. He got right through the door. He kind of, again, using your strategy, he had to stop a little bit McCrickard, but he
pulled it
with him,
so
and didn't knock a cone over.
Fast, yeah.
Oh, I got the reasons for the cones. Did Abby tell you why?
I know why.
Because
they
she
used
said
to
no. She
slam
said
the door
it
so
ruins
hard
her
they broke the
doors.
handles.
Yeah, she said it ruins her doors. But it's funny once you're taking time away from people. It's funny how gently the doors get shut.
Well, what happened was somebody got disqualified for not closing the door all the way. So they started getting nasty, like slamming the doors. Really, my door's closed, and that's why she ended up coming up with the cones. It's like, all right, you know.
Oh, so I didn't ask you, but she told me, so I was like, I'm making sure I tell him that. And look at that, McCricken now. Oh, look at that. One pop up onto the big curve there. Used the sign, but had it lined up perfectly, Michael.
Yeah.
And he did go backwards over the cones too with the wheelie.
Yeah, there's a little more ability on the 5 side. You know, they have a little more like core and balance, and some of them ambulate and don't use the chair regularly. So So they do have a little more function, but it's just amazing to see how they're doing the same exact things, and they're getting it done.
But it's kind of the balance of advantage, disadvantage, because, you know, it's good that they don't have to use the chairs all the time. But then in something like this, I mean, they can kind of get ready for it, but they're a little, I don't want to use the word spoiled, but again, they get both sides because they don't have to really use the chair a lot.
Yeah.
So, and then when you see what they're doing on the course, so I'm picking going down.
No, some of these twos got some times. I'd be interested to see the gold medal, who's faster, really, the 5. Well, they get T-Rock over there, so they do have a ringer.
Yeah, it's very true, very true. Saw him out at, his last, I don't know if you saw the second game last night, so the last out of the game, they were up big. Guy at bat just goes, bam, crush the line drive right at him, and T-Rock just goes, whoom, and looks at him and slams the ball down. I'm like, my goodness, game over.
Hit it to somebody else if you want to get on.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Look at that. He got up the ramp, did McCricken, and look at that. So smooth. And like you said, that half an inch, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it makes a huge difference if you're not leaning the right way.
At the very end, when you're tired, every little bit.
Well, Michael.
The thing is, mentally, you're fatigued too. So.
Oh well, yeah. Not just the mental, but the physical goes, and then the mental starts going because the physical's gone. Absolutely. Well, Michael, you're the man. We'll see each other for Super G.
Absolutely,
right, my friend.
I look forward to it.
And hey, we'll still lobby for the Super Q. My Boston brother.
We're gonna be staying on top of Abby for that one. Thank you, UPS and everybody, and have a wonderful time. We'll see you for the Super G.
Yes, he is out here. And again, like you said, thank you for joining us. Again, wheelchairgames.org/live-streaming.com for times and links to the rest of the live streams this week. I'm Michael Caratanudo for Michael Gilboa. Thank you for joining us here at the 38th Annual National Veterans Wheelchair Games, co-presented by the Department of Veterans Affairs and the Paralyzed Veterans of America. We'll see you in less than an hour for Quad Rugby.